Hello, fourth graders. It's your boy, Mr. Remedies, back with another lesson trying to really kind of wrap up our unit, our discussion on nonfiction authors and the way they organize their text. So, boom. Oh, man, I got it wrong. Here we go. On our screen, today we're talking about how nonfiction authors organize information in several ways within the same book. Whoa, what do you mean several ways? Well, today we're going to dive right into that. As always, we have some success criteria and a learning goal that we're trying to accomplish. So let's see what that is, and then we can dive into being successful. The goal today is that we are learning to understand that sometimes nonfiction authors use several organizational structures within the same text. Okay? Success criteria, only two today. First one, I can identify the four organizational structures of nonfiction. Sounds like a big thing to do, but trust me, y'all got it. Okay, and two, I can identify organizational structure within a text. All right, you get those two things along the way, boom, Success Town, population, Coppersco fourth graders. All right, and so let's take a look at those different types of organizational structures. Pow. All right. So remember, all last week, before we paused and took our practice start test, we were talking all about the different ways in which authors organize their nonfiction text. Okay. Because we know nonfiction text isn't always about telling a story. So, first way we talked about a clock. Boom, you got it. Chronological order, which is the order in which events happen, right? In time. So if I'm reading a biography, normally this is the way those nonfiction authors organize their text. Right? A good example of this, is something we'll check out later. Okay. The next thing is, oh, I see one thing, but then it results in another. It's called cause and effect. When we look at history, text about historical events, that is usually cause and effect. And we'll see plenty of examples of that. Second, oh, that's someone thinking about something, so that must mean the third way is problem and solution. Nonfiction authors like to give us a problem, an event that needs to be addressed or worried about, or we need to concern ourselves with. And then they present the solution, the way we're going to fix that problem, shortly afterwards. And what is the final way? Looks like a couple of circles, but they're interchanging. Boom. Compare and contrast, seeing how things are very similar, which is compare, and to see how two or more things are different, and that's contrast, right? So remember, four types of organizational structures: chronological order, cause and effect, problem and solution, boom, last one, compare and contrast. So now let's look at an example. Boom. Example number one, coming to you once again from Parrots Over Puerto Rico. Okay, we're going to take a look at a couple of different pages. We might do a little bit of reading out as well, and we're going to see if we can identify how the author uses several types of organizational structures to present his information or her information. I apologize. So let's take a look. Okay. Once hundreds of thousands of Puerto Rican parrots flew over the island. By 1975, only 13 parrots were left in the rainforest. Whoa. The worried scientists built special nesting boxes and put them in trees and areas where the parrots were likely to nest. The parrots inspected the nesting boxes and then moved in. These nesting boxes were deep and dark, like the nesting holes Puerto Rican parrots find in the wild. A bird sitting on the top of the box could not see all the way to the bottom. Pearly-eyed thrashers like to see the bottoms of their nests, so the thrashers left the parrots' nesting boxes alone. Oh, interesting information. Moving on, Hurricane Hugo roared through the treetops of Puerto Rico in 1989. Iguaca, Iguaca, the parrots called as the winds blew down many of their tall trees. The hurricane wiped out crops and wrecked buildings and homes. In the aviary, the scientist worried about all of the parrots. What if another bad hurricane blew down more trees? What if the aviary was damaged? Hmm, pretty good information there from pages 24 and then skipping ahead to page 28. Let's see, what did we notice? What did you guys notice out there? Did you guys notice that on page 24, we're presented with a little bit of problem and solution, right? But let's identify that problem and solution. Can you guys take a quick look? What do you guys think out there? What's the problem that is presented on this page? And what does the author say the solution is? If you guys said that the problem is only 13 parrots remained because the pearly-eyed thrashers were stealing their nest, that's the problem. That's a big problem for Puerto Rican parrots. But then the solution is presented that scientists built nest boxes that were too deep and too dark for the thrashers to steal. So I think that's a very good indication, a very good example of problem and solution. But that's not the only way that the authors organize their information in this book. Take a look at page 28. What kind of organization structures do we have here? We have problem and solution. I think, is it time order? Is it chronological order? Is it cause and effect? Is it compare and contrast? What are you guys thinking? Boom, I know you guys are thinking that it's probably cause and effect. What makes you think that? Boom. The cause is that Hurricane Hugo blew over Puerto Rico, destroying crops and damaging buildings. Okay, so that's the event that happened. What happened after that? Because this hurricane blew over and damaged these things, what was the effect of that? The scientists worried about parrots in the aviary. That just seems natural. If you got a big old thunderstorm or a tornado happening here in Copper's Cove, even though I hope that never happens, you immediately start to worry about people outside of your house, and what effect that's having on them. So that makes sense to me. So we can see here that this text has at least two types of structure: a problem, a solution, and a cause and effect. But I'm willing to bet that across all those pages, there's probably many, 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 many more. All right, let's take a look at a second example. Second example comes to us from a wonderfully information text. How can we reduce household waste? So let's give this a look here. It says soaps and shampoos are not dangerous when you are cleaning yourself. But what happens after you use these products? Liquids get rinsed down the drain. Over time, the chemicals in these products build up in the environment. And their bonus, I'm going to read the text feature for you. I'm going to read the caption. Antibacterial soap has chemicals that cause damage to plants and animals. Regular soap is just as effective. Okay. Good to keep in mind that we need to probably read the text feature on this one. Moving on. Okay. Next page, effects of pollution from cleaning products. Water treatment plants clean up much of the water that goes down the drain, but some chemicals remain. These chemicals can hurt fish and other animals that live in the water. Some cleaning products spray chemicals into the air. People who use these chemicals may develop asthma. This condition makes it difficult to breathe. Cleaning chemicals build up in the atmosphere too. Over time, this can also cause health problems for people. And finally, we're going to move on to a section marked Solutions to Pollution from Cleaning Products. What can you do? Choose cleaning products that have few harmful chemicals. Look for certain words on product labels. Those words include biodegradable and low toxicity. Right. And here on this caption, cleaning products without harmful chemicals still do a good job. What are we noticing from this example? What are we noticing from our how to reduce household waste? Did you notice that here on this page, We are talking about, it looks like we're talking about two different things. We're talking about something that happened first and then what happened after it. Boom. That's cause and effect, ladies and gentlemen. Cause and effect. A little C and E for you. Okay. I can tell that in the first page, it tells me about soaps and shampoos. Okay. Then it asks what happens after you use the products. What happens after something else? Well, that tells me that that's cause and effect. Right. So the cause is we use soaps with certain harmful chemicals. And what is the effect of that? Boom. What's going on here right on your screen? The effect is the chemicals get rinsed down the drain and damage plants and animals. Oh, man, I even see that the author's done me a solid and told me effects of pollution. I don't know about you guys, but if something's called effects, I'm willing to bet that there was a cause right before it. Right? I really appreciate the author helping me out and really helping me and all of you guys understand that this is a cause and effect structure. Is there anything else we notice about this structure of this text? If you notice that we had an effect, we had something that happened, but what do you notice about that? Water treatment plants clean up much of the water that goes down the drain, but some chemicals remain. Those chemicals can hurt fish and other animals that live in the water. Well, even though we said it was an effect of something else, you know what? Hurting fish and other animals that live in the water, that's a problem. That's a problem. So, boom, next page, the heading again, helping us out here. The heading is called Solutions to Pollution from Cleaning Products. And then it gives us some solutions. So, POW, right there, problem and solution. That is how the author has organized this little section. But the author's been really skillful in overlapping the way those two structures interact. Because, the plants plants and animals being harmed by our chemicals is an effect of us using those chemicals, but it's also a problem. So boom, oh, holy smokes, what a great overlap. Okay? We can clearly see that there's a problem with using chemicals and that what the solution is. Holy smokes, what a skillful way to organize information. However, could this be the only way that the authors organize their information? Something to consider, guys. Something to really consider. All right, let's move on. As we always do, we've got some examples down. You've considered the idea. Now let's move on to a little bit of a review. Boom, Mr. Remedy's right on your screen there. So we've done a really good job for a couple of days now looking at all the different ways that information can be organized in nonfiction text. Okay, remember, nonfiction text is organized in many ways, and we talked about 4 of them. Nonfiction authors can organize information in several ways within the same text. And we talked about how the 4 organizational structures are chronological order, cause and effect, problem and solution, and compare and contrast. All right, guys, we have had just an amazing amount of success at identifying these structures. All right, you've done an amazing job. As always, I've been Mr. Remedies. Boom, you're my fantastic 4th graders all across Copperas Cove, Texas. And we will see you next time.